Hi there, and welcome to my channel. I'm May, Senior UX Designer at Google. As a UX designer myself, I know how important it is to create a strong case study that showcases your skills and catches the eye of potential clients or employers. But it can be tricky to figure out what to include or how to present your work in the best way. With 8 years of experience in product design, I've seen a lot of case studies, and I love to share some key tips that I wish I had known when I was first building out my own case studies. First, set up a mindset and work process that works for you. The main goal is to unblock yourself and boost the building process. I totally understand how you feel when it comes to building a portfolio. It can be a lot to take in, and it is easy to feel unsure of where to start. I've been there. It's important to acknowledge that building a portfolio can be mentally challenging, especially if you're not sure what to talk about or include. But don't worry, you've got this. Just take it one step at a time, and you will be well on your way to creating an amazing portfolio. I just wanted to remind you that feeling vulnerable is totally okay. It's natural to worry about what others might think, especially when you're presenting it to a new audience. But don't let that fear stop you from moving forward. Keep building and practicing, and you will find that you start gain more and more confidence in your abilities. One helpful strategy is to create a work stream. This includes breaking down the process into manageable steps so that you can avoid getting stuck in the puzzle and keep moving forward. For example, you could begin by outlining the structure of your case studies in a tool that you're comfortable with, such as a Word document. This could include headlines such as openings, problem statement, and target audience. Then you can fill in the details under each heading. I have included a short video where I discuss portfolio structure and provide further guidance. Once you have a rough outline of your case studies, it's time to move on to the next step, creating a presentation. You can use a tool like Keynote, Google Slides, or Figma for this. The goal here is to map out your structure onto individual pages in the presentation and copy over the detailed text you have written. At this stage, you can add gray boxes as visual placeholders to represent the visuals you will need to complete the story. This will give you an idea of what you need to create in order to bring your case study to life. After creating a low-fidelity version of your presentation, you can review it to see if it reflects your expectations. If it does, you can start replacing the gray boxes with your actual visuals to bring the presentation to a higher fidelity. This process of refining your case study can take time, but it's worth it in the end, I promise. By going through this practice 4 to 5 times, updating and improving your work along the way, you can create a portfolio that you're truly proud of. Secondly, to create a successful case study, it's important to avoid common mistakes that only showcase your final product. Instead, you should show your design process, including sketches, wireframes, and prototypes to demonstrate your problem-solving skills and show that you are more than just a pixel pusher. Sharing a design process can give potential employers or clients insight into how you approach problems and work through design challenges. This can help them evaluate your skills and determine if you are a good fit for their organization or project. As a UX designer, your first step is to identify the problem that you're trying to solve. You need to consider the background of the problem, your objective for addressing it, who is impacted by the problem, so you can define your target audience, what they say about the problem, which you can learn through your user interviews, when and where they encounter the problem, which you can map out using the user journey, and why your target audience needs your help, so you can define their pinpoints. After your initial research, you should have multiple strategies to tackle the problem. This may include reducing your target audience pinpoints, or optimizing the user flow to be more intuitive. It's also important to consider how competitors have tackled similar problems. When it comes to collaboration, you can share workshop pictures to show how you led the team to brainstorm the problem together. I'll link Google's workshop guidelines in the description. Once you have a general strategy, you can dive into the details of trying to solve the problem. You can propose wireframes and user test with the wireframes, maybe do some A/B testing as well to determine which approach is more successful. However, you may come across a situation where the problem is more complex than anticipated and your solution is unsuccessful. Maybe there is tech constraints that you cannot overcome. That's okay. You can learn from your failures and continue iterating on your design until you have an aha moment and finally capture the solution. You can always show multiple design variations before you land the final design, so your interviewers can appreciate your thorough process. I just wanted to let you know that those transitions you have included are actually really important. They help make your case study more interesting and engaging for your audience. By showcasing the ups and downs, you can keep your interviewers' attention throughout your whole process. The third tip is to use visuals and animations to enhance your story. Visuals are a powerful tool for communicating complex ideas and can help you convey your design thinking into a more compelling way. By incorporating visuals into your case study, you can make it more engaging and memorable. These assets can include images, videos, prototypes, or animations that showcase your design in action. Visuals can also help break up large blocks of text and make your case study more scannable. When working on your case study, consider pausing on each slide and asking yourself if you can translate the text into an infographic. If the page is filled with flow marks, can you create an animation to demonstrate the prototype and engage your audience in the process? If you're comfortable with the visual design, you may want to create a personal branding kit that includes fonts, colors, icon styles, presentation templates, and decorative elements. Keep your branding consistent throughout your presentation and web portfolio. However, keep it minimal so your employers is not distracted from your actual work. The fourth tip is to highlight your impact using tangible numbers. When creating a case study for your design work, it's important to not only showcase your design, but also highlight its impact. This can include metrics such as increased user engagement, reduced bounce rates, increased revenue, or increased team efficiency. By demonstrating the positive outcomes of your design, you can show potential employers or clients that you can deliver results and create value for their organization. Even if you were a contractor without access to metrics, it's important to try and find this information. Maybe some companies would post this information in their blog post. Worst scenario, you really have no access to this information or your product hasn't been launched yet. You can show the potential impact using the success metrics established by your team when the project first kicked off. However, it's important to clearly state that these numbers were only estimates. Once the product is launched, you can follow up with the actual numbers. Remember to include those metrics in your resume as well. Having solid numbers can make your resume stand out quickly. The fifth tip is to be concise and focused. Your goal should be to showcase your best work and demonstrate your skills, rather than providing a comprehensive overview of every project you have worked on. It's recommended to have 2 to 3 case studies, as most presentation review sessions last 30 to 40 minutes, leaving around 25 to 30 minutes for the presentation itself. Ensure that your case study is well structured with good design and tasteful visual elements. If you want to showcase additional projects, consider placing project snapshots and impact statements at the end of the presentation. Depending on the interview time, you can ask the interviewers if you would like to see some of other work. Great work on completing your case study. Now it's time to polish up your presentation and give it a professional touch. One thing to keep in mind is to avoid having duplicated pages in your presentation. If you do come across any, simply merge them into one cohesive page to streamline your message. To maintain focus during your presentation, try creating a script to outline the key points you want to make. Reading your script aloud can help you identify areas that need improvement. If you find yourself getting stuck or lose focus, it could be that your presentation's narrative needs more clarification and love. I have a couple of bonus tips for you as well. Once you have completed 2 to 3 case studies in your presentation, you can reuse the same material on your portfolio website. My suggestion would be to start with the case study in the presentation and then move it to the website. This way, you can focus on building the presentation first, which is more structured, and not get sidetracked by website building. Another tip is to add one slide at the beginning to introduce yourself and your background. Also consider adding one slide at the end of each case study to discuss what you learned from the project. I hope these 5 tips help you create an outstanding case study that showcases your skills as a UX designer. Remember to put in the hard work and attention to detail, and you'll be well on your way to achieving your career aspirations with your winning case studies. Thank you for watching. To better help you, I'll link a template PDF for you to get started on your building journey. Don't forget to give a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel for more design-related content. I'll see you in the next video.